Hey, this is Brooke, functional medicine dietitian specializing in fertility, and this is the Fertility Dietitian podcast, where I help you uncover the barriers that are preventing you from optimizing your fertility and teach you how to work with your body to finally take home a healthy baby. Each week, I will be diving into different topics on fertility and sharing my perspective on physiology, metabolic health, nutrition, and lifestyle approaches that have helped hundreds of couples get pregnant even after years of heartache. My goal is to empower you with the knowledge you need to take back control of your fertility. Happy listening. Today, we're going to be talking all about how you can improve your egg quality even if you are over the age of 35. This is a beefy episode, so get out your pen and paper because we are covering a ton of helpful tips that you can start implementing right away. You will also learn much more than just adding in a few foods. First, I have to say that yes, you absolutely can improve the quality of your eggs. And your egg quality can be better after the age of 35 than it was when you were 25. Especially if you were like me, bathing in Bath and Body Works, snacking on ultra-processed foods in your younger years. So the older we get, the harder we may have to work to support egg quality due to things like normal decline of our natural antioxidant status and likely those pesky symptoms that we've been kind of ignoring for the past decade. But please don't become a victim to the idea that the quality of your eggs can't change. This is a massive load of BS. Okay, I see huge improvements in egg quality all of the time, even in my clients that are in their 40s. Okay, the best way to support your fertility as you age, get ready for it, is to love on your mitochondria. Do you remember what the mitochondria is? Say it with me. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Thank you, middle school biology, for drilling this into our heads, or at least into my head. I'm okay with being a science nerd. But our maturing eggs have 10 times more mitochondria than any other cell in the body. This means that they require a lot of energy. And supporting our mitochondria can slow the aging of ovarian function and support fertility as we get older. That's cool, right? Antioxidants play a big role in this because they protect our maturing follicles from oxidative damage, which is basically damage to the DNA. And these antioxidants support energy production of the mitochondria. We get antioxidants from food and, of course, can supplement them, which we will definitely talk more about throughout today's episode. But in order to support these antioxidants and therefore the mitochondria, we need to be doing these 4 things to support the mitochondria and improve egg quality. Ready? Number 1 is decrease oxidative stress and inflammation. Number 2 is support our natural detox system function. Number 3 is decrease toxic burden. And number 4 is nourish our gut health. We are going to talk about how to do all of these things in detail. This is where that pen and paper comes in handy. All right, number 1, decreasing oxidative stress is a big way that we can support the mitochondria. There's a normal process in metabolism that created what we know as free radicals. Okay, free radicals also result from external sources like air pollution, chemical exposures, smoking, or other toxins. If our exposure to free radicals is high, they can lead to oxidation, which damages the egg and the sperm. Okay. All of this info we're talking about is also supportive of sperm health, just so you know. So even though we're kind of focusing in on egg quality, also helps sperm quality, just as an aside. So this oxidative stress damages the energy source in our cells, which is the mitochondria. And when that mitochondria is damaged, it starts releasing even more oxidation, causing even more damage. So we have to get ahead of this cycle to change this pattern. This damage decreases the amount of energy that the mitochondria can produce. And when we are talking about egg quality, decreased energy increases chromosomal abnormalities, which is DNA damage. So poor egg quality, longer time to pregnancy, if you're even able to conceive, higher risk of miscarriage. Okay, but this is where antioxidants come in. Our follicles naturally have an antioxidant defense system to protect against oxidative damage, but it weakens as we age. This is part of the reason why you often hear doctors talking about egg quality declining as you age. Okay, but it doesn't mean that there's nothing that we can do to change this and actually improve the quality of their eggs, because there's a lot we can do, right? Luckily, we do have lots of tools in order to strengthen the antioxidant defense system. And the trick is to use them consistently, right? These tools, and over a very minimum of 3 to 4 months. So we need consistent use over a minimum of 3 to 4 months in order to impact that full maturation of the follicle before ovulation. The mitochondria changes significantly in response to nutrients and lifestyle factors, but you have to give it time, okay? So go back to episode 1 of season 1 for more info on this time period, which is called the preconception time period, if you're interested. All right, so how can we utilize antioxidants since our own defense system decreases as we grow older and wiser? Get that pen ready. Here are 3 tips to decrease that oxidative stress and strengthen that antioxidant system. The first is to increase omega-3 fatty acids from fish. This is also something that you can get from whole eggs and full-fat dairy. And nutrients and antioxidants like vitamin E, zinc, and selenium that come from foods like ground flaxseed, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and sunflower seeds. Tip number 2 is to add more color with vibrant produce. Think beets, artichokes, citrus, berries, and dark green vegetables. And 3, improve your sleep by getting at least 8 to 9 hours of good quality sleep a night. So this is specific to females. We do need more sleep than males do because of our complex cycles. We take more rest and repair time to support rest and repair of our cells, which includes that mitochondria as well. So ultimately, we have to look at the whole body rather than isolate the reproductive system in order to have the biggest impact. If resources are being shuttled elsewhere, egg quality will struggle. So if you're doing these things to decrease oxidative stress and getting those antioxidants in, but they're being used up elsewhere, egg quality is still going to struggle. And this brings me to the second way that we can support our mitochondria for improved egg quality, which is supporting our natural detox pathways. Every part of our body's detox system requires nutrients. Our body is set up to eliminate toxins with the help of organs like our liver and our gut and our kidneys, even our lymph system and our sweat glands. But to keep up with the demand of toxic exposure, many of us need to support these organs for a more efficient detox process. Supporting the detox process protects maturing eggs and sperm from damage while supporting overall hormone balance to help create a cushy, nourishing home for an embryo to implant. Okay, so yes, we are supporting egg quality, but we're also supporting that environment with really these same tools that we're talking about. Our body is constantly bombarded with toxins from our external environment, which includes air pollution, heavy metals, plastic, and chemicals, and our lifestyle, which includes personal care products, processed foods, alcohol, and nicotine, and then our internal environment. Here we're thinking about bacterial growth in the gut, excess hormones, and the stress response, especially if that stress response is being set off more often than it should. Supporting the detox process can and should happen in 2 steps. The first step being decreasing exposures in the first place, which decreases oxidative damage to the mitochondria, therefore protecting those eggs. And step 2 is supporting the pathways with nutrition and lifestyle habits to decrease the damage from the toxins that we are being exposed to. Okay, so how the heck do we do this? Just as an aside, I do want to say, since we're talking about detox pathways, that we don't want to do a commercial detox or a fertility detox as they are sold in the fertility world. They don't actually support detox, most often due to the lack of nutrients that they're providing. They often flush out your gut, which is not supporting detox or your fertility. If your body is deprived of nutrients that are crucial for packaging up the toxins and eliminating them, inflammation and oxidative stress can actually increase. Okay, so if you're feeling like you need some sort of detox support or cleanse, really start here. Get that pen and paper ready again. Supporting the skin. So, skin is a major detox organ that we have by sweating. Sweating most days is really helpful, and this can include a sauna. Okay, exercise, of course, can be a part of that puzzle too. We always have to be mindful of what's happening with that stress system. So, as always, individualizing these is important. So, sweating most days helps with those detox pathways. Supporting the gut. So, having a daily bowel movement by eating enough and focusing on whole foods and at least 30 grams of fiber is where I would start with that gut. Liver support, we're thinking about adequate animal protein because a lot of vitamins and minerals that liver needs to package up toxins and do its job as a detox organ are found in animal proteins. And of course, produce. So back to those antioxidants, thinking about those vibrant colors, as well as those omega-3 fatty acids are going to really support the liver as well. Our lymphatic system. So if you're not familiar with our lymphatic system, it's basically, you can think of it kind of like our vessels, like our blood vessels, but it's more surface level. So it's just below the skin. And we want this fluid to move daily. Okay. So if it gets kind of stuck and sluggish, we're not detoxing things out of our blood very well. And movement really helps support this. Rebounding, like on a mini trampoline, jump roping, are some helpful ways to support lymphatic movement. Dry brushing is another one. And then last but not least, kidneys. So our kidneys are an important detox organ as well. Hydration is important here. And I don't mean just plain water. Minerals are a really significant part of how we hydrate and support our detox organs, including the kidneys. We'll talk much more about minerals in a future episode, but minerals are electrolytes. So getting started with things like potassium, which we find in coconut water, and other minerals like salt, not being afraid of sea salt. High quality salt matters. The type of quality salt or the type of salt is going to matter here. Redmond's real salt is a great option as well. Okay, so potassium, sodium, magnesium's a big one too. And we'll talk way more about supplementing in another episode. But those are electrolytes that I would get started with. If you're not adding anything right now, oftentimes we need a little boost there. And of course, there's a lot of room for individualization in this area as well, which we will continue that conversation around this season too. So supporting the skin by sweating, supporting the gut by making sure you're eliminating daily, supporting the liver with adequate protein and antioxidants, supporting that lymph system by moving daily, and supporting the kidneys with hydration. Okay, targeted testing can be really helpful in determining whether you need additional detox support and can really just make a big difference in learning how to support your egg quality and reproductive function for your body. Okay, so it's okay to need support in these areas, but of course, get started with these tips first. A major part of supporting your detox system is decreasing your exposure to toxins. So, this is tip number 3 for how we support your mitochondria. Decreasing toxic burden. A major part of supporting your detox system is decreasing these exposure to toxins. I know I just said that. I'm going to say it again because it's a big, big deal. Remember that the number one goal for supporting fertility as we age is to support that mitochondria, and decreasing the toxin exposure while we support our detox pathways are big parts of decreasing oxidative stress. Oxidative stress damages that mitochondria, leads to DNA damage, resulting in that poor egg quality that presents in a longer time to conception and increased risk of miscarriage. I know I've said that a couple of times, but that is the string of events that happens that we're trying to reverse in order to support that egg quality. What you may be wondering what I'm even referring to when I'm talking about toxins. But when I say toxins, I'm referring to chemicals that are in our products that negatively affect our mitochondria and our fertility. We know that these chemicals decrease both egg and sperm quality. And we know that the higher our toxic exposure is, the harder our detox pathways have to work to eliminate the toxins, and the fewer resources, aka nutrients like vitamins and minerals, our body is going to have left to support fertility, especially egg quality. Full elimination of toxins is really impossible. So the goal is to make swaps. And I know that swapping products can be a really big, overwhelming task. So I recommend that going slow and focusing on one area at a time, or making swaps as you run out of products, the way to go. The goal is to focus on decreasing that exposure by making those swaps while you're supporting your detox pathways. So don't forget about supporting those detox organs that we just talked about. This balance can make a really big difference in how much you are decreasing that oxidative damage and supporting that egg quality. If you're wondering where to even start with this, I would start with these 6 areas. So first, in the kitchen, swap plastic food storage for glass, swap nonstick pans for cast iron or stainless steel, swap coffee pods for a glass or stainless pot. Okay. In the personal care area, we want to ditch all fragrance. So think soaps, shampoos, cosmetics, lotions. Fragrance is a chemical mixture of chemicals. So it's synthetic, and companies are allowed to just list it as fragrance. And it's really just a slew of chemicals that are known to be massive hormone disruptors and definitely increase things like oxidative damage, decrease energy production in that mitochondria, decrease egg quality. So ditch the fragrance. And yes, there are actual natural fragrance, but the term natural fragrance doesn't mean anything. So don't rely on that. It's easiest to go with non-scented, even though there are some safe options out there. Okay, I would start here, ditching the fragrance. Make sure your deodorant doesn't have fragrance either. This is often one that can be missed, and that it's aluminum free. In the cleaning area of the house, think about all household cleaners. Again, you want them to be fragrance free and non-toxic. Okay. A couple of brands that I am a huge fan of and use myself are Truly Free and Branch Basics. Check them out. They have a lot of solutions for all areas of the home for cleaning, as well as laundry detergent and dish soap, which are really big areas to swap because we live in our clothes, we sleep in our sheets. This is a big area of exposure. And then the dish soap, of course, is huge because we're eating food that is touching it. We're cooking with the things that go through the dishwasher. Big area of exposure as well. And last but not least, air fresheners. Ditch the fragrance again. So air fresheners, candles, anything like that with artificial fragrance in that, get rid of them. This list is by no means all inclusive, but it definitely includes many heavy hitters that can make the biggest impact on decreasing daily exposure to toxins. All right. So area number 4 that we want to pay attention to in order to support that mitochondria is the gut. We have to nourish our gut health. Okay. There are a few ways that a happy gut supports mitochondria function. All right. Mitochondria needs nutrients to function. So if we aren't able to digest and absorb nutrients, that mitochondria suffers. Our gut health is important also for healthy thyroid function, and thyroid function is necessary for happy, healthy mitochondria. And as part of our detox system, the gut has to be working very efficiently to support elimination of toxins and excess hormones. If the toxins aren't getting out, they can definitely increase that oxidative stress and damage that mitochondria, therefore decreasing that egg quality. All right. Gut health is a huge part of health and fertility and definitely supporting egg quality as we age. We can be eating the perfect fertility diet and supplement routine for our body, but if we aren't digesting and absorbing the nutrients, we can't go on to build hormones or support the DNA programming of maturing eggs, which is literally what we're talking about with improving egg quality. We're talking about that DNA programming. We're talking about having normal chromosomes. That is what we're talking about with improving egg quality. And you can't build your stores up either to support that healthy pregnancy. So gut health is a really big deal when we're talking about getting pregnant, staying pregnant, having that healthy baby. I run gut health tests on almost every single private coaching client that I work with. And every single time we find barriers that are likely contributing to trouble conceiving or carrying to term. So you can trial probiotics or experiment with elimination diets, but that's probably only going to help you a little bit in the short term, and it definitely won't fix an underlying imbalance. All right, so testing is really, really helpful, but you can start with these tips right away to support your gut. Ready? Include ground flax and chia seeds. This is fiber, really supportive for motility in the gut. Cruciferous veggies, think broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. Definitely supportive of what's happening with the gut. Glycine and collagen, helpful for what's happening with the lining health of your gut. We find these in slow-cooked meats, meat on the bone, meat with skin. Probiotic foods are going to be like your fermented foods, yogurts, kefir, things like cottage cheese, aged cheeses, all good probiotics as well. Prebiotic foods, which are going to be things like your oats and your apples and your onions and your garlic. And fat. Fat is also really great for the lining of the gut and motility as well. Think about fatty fish, think about avocados, olive oils, as well as saturated fat too. So our naturally occurring saturated fat in animal proteins, full fat yogurt, whole eggs, butter, all great options for supporting the gut as well. So those are it. Those are the top 4 areas to support in order to rev up your mitochondria and improve egg quality, even if you're over 35. Please remember that it does take a minimum of 3 to 4 months to start seeing improvements in egg quality. And we might not be able to change your age, but we can absolutely change the quality of your eggs. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And if you are looking for more support, follow the links below. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fertility Dietitian podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review to let me know what topics you want more of or less of. If you want to keep learning, subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out my website for more info on my private coaching program, Master Your Fertility, or my membership community, Fertility Blueprint. And don't forget my digital store. Come say hi on YouTube and Instagram. See you in the next episode.